My name is Velchev and I make electronic music as the artist KiNK. I got into the electronic music in the early 90s. That was the time I actually wanted to make sound, but I had no equipment. I was using various objects, for example, a turntable or a dual cassette player. So I would manipulate the record to make a loop, or I would record over and over again music on the cassette, and I would make cassette edits just to extend the beat. That was the beginning for me. That made me think, how can I make music with nothing? In the late 90s, I got more seriously into electronic music production because at that time, my current studio partner, he had a computer, and that was a big change for me. Basically, he showed me how to make music with software, but there was not much information back then. We had very little access to the internet, and I had to learn everything on my own by trial and mistake. My studio partner was helping a lot, but he's more into the technology behind, and I'm more into the creative side. So it was a journey, a lonely journey pretty much. I started using samples at the very beginning when I started making music because I had no much knowledge about how to synthesize my sounds. So I would chop a rhythm from my favorite house track, and I would chop a loop from my favorite disco recording. Sometimes I would process those, and sometimes I would just try to replicate that sound, listening to the sample and reproducing it with other samples side by side. And this was the process of my evolution as a composer. This is my Rhodes piano. I love the sound of it. It goes a little bit like this. I chose it because I love how it sounds when I run it through this beautiful, obscure Russian flanger effect. These two instruments are made by the Italian company Loop. They're from Milano, and they do whatever they want to do. They're quite uncontrollable, and I decided to use them in a sample pack because I like their behavior. So the kick comes from the bigger lap loop, and then the chords come from the arpopone. And basically, this machine is analyzing the voltages going through itself, and is generating chords based on mathematical division of the bass frequency in a synthesizer. It can sound a bit unpredictable or very unpredictable. It depends how you operate with it. These days, I have the equipment, I have the knowledge to produce any kind of sound, but I still rely on samples a lot. I use samples in my live sets as well. First of all, because when I produce my tracks in a studio, I use a lot of synthesizers, hardware or software ones, and in a live situation, I'm just not able to recreate that sound with certain precision. That's why I use samples. I decided to include my EMU SP1200 sampler because it's one of the most characteristic samplers in the world. It gives amazing color to the sound. And I sample different keyboards, hardware keyboards or plugins, and I run them through this beautiful machine. And they sound a little bit like this. When the magic happens is when you start changing the pitch of each sound. It goes like this. And you can hear the artifacts even stronger when you play around with drums. It just sounds super fat to my ears, and that's why I run a lot of the content, stabs, some keyboards, the piano through it, and a lot of the drums, if not most of them. So this is the clone of Earl Syncussion. It has 2 channels of obscure metallic atonal sounding drums, and it goes a bit like this. When I started making the sample pack, I had a certain goal. I wanted to make a package which I can use, something suitable for my studio productions and something suitable for the live sets, because I cannot bring my obscure, rare and heavy synthesizers, but I can take all the recordings I made with them. I had certain challenges because I had to prepare those sounds to be used by many people. Normally when I make sounds for myself, I don't put them in categories, I don't pay attention how long the loops should be. Now, since I make this project, I have a lot of respect for all the sound designers working on studios and making that kind of rendering of audio, because that requires a lot of knowledge and preparation outside of the sound designer's skill. These days, the sampling techniques evolve so much, and the equipment used to play back and process those samples evolve so much. So the art of sampling is endless, and I see a future in it. I think that at the end, especially with the current technology, making music is not that difficult. Performing music is not that difficult. What's difficult is to keep the passion, to have the motivation to start doing it, because it's everything about the inspiration, not about the technical knowledge and the money spent on equipment. If you have fire, nothing can stop you.
Keep the fire burning, baby. Keep the fire burning, baby. Keep the fire burning, baby. Keep the fire burning.